That always cracks me up. Okay. Hello, Monday Movie Club, fellows.
Fan.
Just
Fan one.
there's no fans anymore. There's none. This week we're reviewing Joel's choice, the Hudsucker Proxy, which is actually our third Coen Brothers movie this year. And it was the fifth film that the Coen Brothers made. I'm Frank Gaffney. Here with us is Melvin J. Fudpucker, Jolie, Annie King, who's got laundry to do, Amy Goldman, Cringer. Is that like Newman?
Yeah.
And Mark.
Oh, it's like Skinner.
Wow. Mark, whoa tits Fuddruckers this time. Joel, why the Hudsucker Proxy?
Why not? I love the Coen Brothers, and this.
Well, who doesn't?
I don't know. I know. So yeah, exactly. There's a couple of people that we're going to say who doesn't. I love the Coen Brothers. They have not made a bad movie as far as I'm concerned. They've made lesser films than the others. And this one, it may not be their best, but I think it's my favorite because I love screwball comedies, and I love this is really, it's a one critic described it as it's Preston Sturges characters trapped in a Frank Capra film designed by Fritz Lang. And that pretty much is what the film is, with a touch of Billy Wilder, for good measure.
That's exactly what I had in my notes, Joel.
Yeah, exactly.
Word for word.
And if you can give me an example of one film from each director, I'll be impressed.
Metropolis.
We watched.
All right, Preston Sturges.
Frank Capra or Preston Sturges. All right, so I too love the Coen Brothers and their twisted sensibilities and their filmmaking ingenuity. They clearly love making films, and their love is infectious. I really do love them. But I'm afraid, Joel, this one is much more a case of style over substance. Tim Robbins in the Hudsucker Proxy is a dope who's a dupe to help a corporation pull off a scheme to hoodwink their investors. Characters are all quick-witted and fast-talking, and it's really a great cast, really great. Costumes and sets are brilliant, and more appropriate than a 1930s Hollywood movie than 1959, but okay, fine. And the Coen Brothers, by this point have already had their favorite people. I mean, Steve Buscemi's in it, John Polito, Bruce Campbell, and the beautiful cinematography by Roger Deakins, the beautiful score by Carter Burwell. And they even wrote the script with Sam Raimi, who helped Joel Coen get his start when he was an editor on Evil Dead in 1981.
And that's why Bruce Campbell's in it, though, not because of the Coen brothers.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I read somewhere there was one point where they all lived in New York, Joel and Ethan, Frances McDormand, Holly Hunter, and Sam Raimi all lived in the same apartment. Now, that's a dinner I would love to be at. Imagine them just making dinner that night. All right. But the first half hour is a lot to set up, and it gets pretty sluggish and just too stately, Wayne Manor, stately. Once Charles Durning, who is great, he really is great. I wish he was in more of the movie. He's so funny when he's falling and he's telling people, get out of the way, get out of the way. When he jumps out the window, the board's reaction really, for me, just zapped the energy because, I get it. In the 1930s, having that close-up with the one word and the close-up with the one word, that was fine. But now it just, for me, just grinded it to a halt and zapped the energy out of that room. But Dennis Gassner's set design is tremendous. I mean, literally. And Joel, you're right. It's Fritz Lang's Metropolis with, crossed with Gotham City. It's beautiful to die for. But, it's the whole thing is so theatrical. I expected them to break out in a song and dance number any minute. It seemed like it was like a musical from the 30s, but no songs. And I think for me, a big shout out to Jennifer Jason Leigh. Good Lord. You either hate her or you love her, but this one, she is the fast talking tough broad like Rosalind Russell or Katharine Hepburn. And for me, that kicked the film back into gear. She is so great in this movie. I don't know how she did not get nominated for an Oscar. But where it goes wrong for me, and you mentioned, Joel, the Frank Capra thing, but there's no heart. Frank Capra, you felt such a joy at the end of his films. I don't really feel it. I don't feel the emotion or the humanity of this movie. And there's almost no reason to care about the shenanigans that are going on. And they are going on. And it's fun and interesting, and the whole thing of Tim Robbins being the everyman and saving the day, it just didn't have that level of joy. That's where the Coen brothers satire, I guess, came in. And so on Wikipedia, it said that it got mixed reviews and bombed at the box office, but has since gained a cult following. That's where Joel comes in. Wherever you are.
It sounds like The Big Lebowski.
I don't think it's as good as that movie.
Neither do I.
But again, the technical part of it is great, and this is exactly what Joel said. It's a Frank Capra film with your Preston Sturges hero and dialogue direction by Howard Hawks, who was another one who was like big on the. But I think on a fundamental level, this homage to the 1930s screwball comedy doesn't work on that level. It's too stylized, I think. It's too one note for me. And it's a fairy tale with no real lesson, and it's a satire with no real targets that haven't been hit before. There was nothing really new. But and like I said, it didn't have anybody to root for except the Coen brothers, of course, who thankfully got it right on the next movie, which was Fargo, which I love. And I also read that the Coen brothers were working on this script since they met practically Sam Raimi, and that explains why in Raising Arizona, High works for Hudsucker Industries, because they had already had this in their head. So I'm going with 3 stars on this one. It is the Coen brothers, so they get that. And you definitely have to admire that they tried something so out of left field. I'm surprised that Joel Silver gave them the money to go ahead and make this movie when I don't see any potential for it being a big box office movie. Mark, you have the picture up. You enjoyed it?
I did. This is my first time watching it, and I did. I liked it. I definitely saw some resemblances to The Big Lebowski, having a narrator, a loser, as a main character, but who wasn't quite a loser. The weird dream sequences and repetitive catchphrases that stick with you. So,
for the kids.
Really was good. For me, the negatives, I know, Joel, this is why you and I will never truly agree on movies. It was too screwball for me. I'm not a big fan of the screwball comedy.
And it might as well have been in black and white.
No.
No, that's the kind of movie Mark really loves.
Oh, well, yes.
Black and white movie.
Yeah, the screwball comedy and the wacky dream sequences just kind of took it out for me. I don't know. But otherwise, I liked it. Yeah, and as you said, sure, they dock you, and of course, for kids, they were fun. They did stick with me. So I'm going to be saying that for the next few weeks to bother Danielle, I'm sure. This movie was released on my birthday, March 11th. But
did Danielle watch it?
Yeah, she liked it. She liked it too. 1994 was a big year for Tim Robbins, though, between this and obviously Shawshank, which we'll be watching in a few weeks, right? Thanks to Annie. Or a few months at least.
On the schedule.
Yes. I love the scene with the first kid to use the hula hoop immediately being an expert and doing the tricks. That was funny. And lastly, in general, and Frank, you kind of already said it, but I'm not a fan of Jennifer Jason Leigh's acting. And she just showed up on Hunters, and I've seen a bunch of things. And there's something about her. I just feel like I can always see that she's acting. I don't like it. But in this,
And wait, she was also in the Quentin Tarantino. What was that one?
yes, Hateful Eight. Yep.
Hateful Eight.
Yep.
Hateful Eight.
Something about her always just kind of irks me, but she was fantastic in this. She was actually my favorite part. So good for her. And I go 3 stars, a solid 3 stars. I think if I watch this a second time or a third time, probably be a 3.25. But for now, 3 stars.
Annie, had you seen it before?
Nope, my first time, and I'm like guessing I'm not a huge Coen Brothers fan. But I haven't seen a lot, so I still have Fargo to watch, except next week I have to watch 2 movies, so I won't do it next week.
Oh, God.
Yeah. But
Get
yeah,
started. All right.
I have to get started. But yeah, I did enjoy it. It was fun. It's just okay, fun. So same thing Mark said. I would definitely go with 3 stars. Fun lines and stuff, but that was it for me.
That sounds pretty meh.
Nah. It's
Not
good.
a remote dropper.
No,
Not remotely.
Not watching it again.
No
No.
Shawshank, huh?
No. Goldfuck, what do you say?
I'm pretty much the same as you guys. I give it
Had
3
you seen it
stars.
before? Had you seen it before?
No, surprisingly, no. I thought I might have, but definitely not. I'm like I said, 3 stars. I did love Jennifer, but like you said, Frank, it was too stylized. The whole thing was just too much. Like, all right, already. Some of the characters, like the eyebrows guy, it just drove me crazy. And there were moments that I thought of Mark. I remember in I think it was Raising Arizona, where the 2 characters, John Goodman and what's his nuts, were screaming in the car and they wouldn't stop. There were moments of that in this movie where something was happening. I feel like it was with eyebrows guy. It just wouldn't stop. I'm like, shut up already. Stop. What?
sorry to interrupt, but before I forget, and the whole movie, I'm like, the letter. Why didn't he deliver
Yeah.
the letter? Like,
I
Just-
forgot all about the letter.
it distracted
So did
me
he. That's the
whole
point.
movie.
That's funny. How come eyebrows guy started crying when the stock dropped? Why, if the stock had already dropped, why didn't they rebuy the shares? Had they not done anything yet with their shares? What did I miss there? Like, why didn't you already buy the new stocks? Were they
Oh,
just
I thought
waiting to go even lower?
I thought he cried because
They sold
what's the
it.
name? Musburger screwed up.
Yeah, because the stock went way up again once the hula hoop thing
So
happened.
they just didn't
Yeah.
buy it in time.
They didn't
Correct.
buy it. Yeah, I would assume that.
Yeah.
Like
that's
most
all.
greedy, you want to wait till the stock drops a certain amount. So if it only drops here, but you wanted to
Then you
to
get
buy it
greedy
here,
and you're like,
and then
one
all of a
more,
sudden it
one
goes
more,
up, you
one
missed
more
the
pull of the
window.
machine.
Yeah.
One of the quotes I was just looking up that I loved from Jennifer Jason Leigh, I thought was so clever. And of course, there were a lot of great quotes because it's the Coen brothers. But the one she said, finally, there would be a thingamajig that would bring everyone together, even if it kept them apart spatially. I just loved that line. Loved it. Loved it.
It almost sounded like her there.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
Thank you
good.
very much. I was trying my darndest. So yeah, I really enjoyed it, but I don't need to.
Okay, you should have done the whole review like that.
I really should have, but I didn't even think of it. Damn it.
You need a cigarette too.
This is my cigarette right here.
There you go.
All right,
Like you don't
guys.
have
So
real
I'm
cigarettes.
gonna, what?
Like you don't have real cigarettes.
Shut up. So I'm gonna go with 3 stars, see, 3. Not 2.5, not 3 3/4, but 3.
Good job.
Unseen.
That was great. So, Joe, we got a general consensus of 3 stars. Everybody kind of liked the movie just
Yes.
fine. This thing makes me look like I'm gonna get a haircut with a schmuck on. This thing.
Doesn't
And
fit
when
right.
somebody
Yeah,
cut my
not
hair.
at all.
No, it doesn't look like a smock.
No,
Hi.
it looks like you're about to bag my groceries.
Yes.
Ah,
Looks like a schmuck.
that actually was my very first job,
Oh,
making groceries at a supermarket.
what's
Right,
it
why
called?
don't you get out of here and go to Walbams and bag some groceries? Oh, I'll stop. Sorry.
He doesn't have a Waldbaum's down there.
No, they're public.
You don't have one up here either.
No.
Oh, are they out of business at this point? I don't.
Well, I think Amy was trying to harken back to a previous time.
Okay.
And there was a Waldbaum's to go to. Joel,
Yes.
in the pantheon of 18 films of Coen Brothers, this one's pretty much middle to bottom.
I didn't say it was their best. I said it was my
Right.
favorite. There's a difference.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
And there's a lot to admire. Absolutely.
Yeah. No, as somebody who loves the genre of screwball comedies and loves the conceptualization of German expressionism on film, this is, right up my alley.
That's a big $5 word there.
It is. I saw this in the theaters when it played. I was one of the 6 people that saw it, and I loved it when I saw it. I still love it today. I've seen it more times than I care to count. It's eminently quotable for me. I find myself, not having to say, but saying, sure, a lot. And when I do it, it tends to come out like Musburger.
Sure.
And
The question is, are all your pants double stitched?
No, not at all. I've ripped too many of them on the seam around the waist. So I don't have a great Italian tailor that's nice to me. So
there you go.
Well, if you were on Friends, he would touch your testicles.
Yes. Up and over.
I enjoy the movie. It is a remote dropper for me. Not that it's ever on anywhere to drop a remote.
I also read, I thought it was interesting that they got Paul Newman to do the movie, but their first choice was Clint Eastwood.
Yeah. I mean, as good as Eastwood is in certain things, I don't think he would have worked in this film. I think Paul Newman hits all the right notes. And it is.
And at 70, taking his shirt off.
Yeah. Well, not all of us could get away with that at 70. So
no, I can't get away with it at 65.
I was going to say something.
I'm sure you were.
Oh, you had mentioned earlier about it becoming a cult film of sorts.
Yes.
And the thing that I find interesting is when Warner Home Video created their archive collection on DVD and Blu-ray, it was the second Blu-ray that they put out. And I mean, we're talking about the Warner Brothers catalog, which has a shitload of classics in it that they could have picked anything else. It's the second film that came out in that on Blu-ray, which I think says to, where they do consider the film at this point, because they know it will sell in that sense. I wish they had done more with it other than just slap the trailer on it. And I think that's also part of the reason why the film didn't do well at the box office. That I was like, I don't remember how this was marketed. And it's like, oh, this is marketed terribly. I mean, it's marketed as if it were an airplane type comedy, and it's certainly not that. So
Yeah.
But
and it really was their first big studio movie.
Yes. Yeah.
So a lot of it really had to do with Joel Silver saying, okay, fine, let's do it.
Right.
He made such buttloads of money. Warner Brothers was like, okay, fine.
Well, and then they had to bring in 2 more producing partners to get it done with Working Title and I forget the other company, but yeah, and the Coen brothers don't have anything nice to say about Joel Silver. He doesn't have anything nice to say about them, so that was the end of that. And did everybody recognize the voice on the newsreel footage?
Not until I read who it was.
Oh, okay. There's John Goodman.
Oh, so John Goodman was involved as well.
Yes,
Right.
except he's not credited as John Goodman.
Right.
He's credited under the name of his character from Barton Fink.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Pandora's box.
And anyway, I'm going to agree with Mark. It's a 3.25 star film. And
Well, Mark didn't go there. He said
Yeah.
maybe if you watch it.
oh,
again.
maybe. All right. Well, I'm going to go there. So
There you go.
yeah, and I'd watch it again today if I had the time.
But you don't.
I do not have the time today.
Yeah. If I'm ranking them, I think there's only one film that would be less than this, and that was Intolerable Cruelty, because that was an intolerable movie.
Raising Arizona for me.
Oh my God, I love Raising Arizona so
I know,
much.
everyone did.
All right, well, as Joel said, the Hudsucker Proxy isn't playing anywhere.
Yeah.
You have to rent it or go to the library, which is what I did.
Or you can come here anytime you want and I'll show it to you because I do own a copy. So,
And Joel will gladly watch it again.
yes.
You know, also you said there were no extras on the Blu-ray. The Coen brothers just hate doing that kind of stuff. They hate
Yes
doing
and
any behind
yes
the
and
scenes to ruin the effects, I guess.
yes and no, because in this instance, the reason there's no extras has nothing to do with them. It has to do with Warner Brothers going, oh, we have this movie. We know we can sell it. We're not putting any extra money into putting out a package. But if you look at like all the stuff of theirs that's in the Criterion collection or others, from other companies, they all have at least more than just the trailer.
Right.
So there is stuff out there to kind of, look at and be like, oh, all right, they do kind of get
Yeah,
behind
but
it.
is that stuff actually available for Hudsucker? Did they?
For Hudsucker, that I have no idea.
Yeah,
So
they might not have filmed anything.
maybe not.
So next week is Mark's choice. He's making us watch Kill Bill, both volumes.
It's really one long movie.
Is it like 4 hours?
Yes.
Probably
Put them
more.
together?
Yeah,
What
a good
about three?
3.
We don't have to watch 3?
There is no 3.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I'm not that bad. Yeah,
I'm
Kill Bill.
thinking Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
But here's the thing is that, Quentin Tarantino considers them 2 separate films until he finally gets the release of his massive overarching version, which is probably never going to happen because Harvey Weinstein still owns it. So.
Meaning what? He wants to edit them back into one movie?
He did edit them back into one movie at one point, but they can't release it anywhere. It's one of the films that Harvey Weinstein's company is holding hostage.
It's perfect the way it is. Just put in the 2 movies. If anybody needs it, I have both movies on DVD. I don't know. Is it showing anywhere?
No. Nope. It is not. All right. I guess
I will quickly say this about Kill Bill Volume 1. I saw it in theaters the weekend it opened, which also happened to be the weekend I was getting married. So the day I was getting married, all the guys and I were at the movies watching this film while Natasha and all of her friends were getting their hair done and makeup done and such.
And she was saying kill Joel
Yeah, pretty much.
for going to the movie.
That's great.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen this actually. Maybe I have. I don't know. I'll see when I see it. Angela Bassett's in it, right?
What?
Angela Bassett?
No.
No.
No, you're thinking of what's her name?
Vivica A. Fox.
Yeah.
Oh, is it
that's it.
Vivica?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
So I was gonna say it is one movie that my daughter has watched that I haven't watched.
All right, well, that's it for us. We kind of recommend Hudsucker if you want to spend a few hours, and it was fine. I'm Frank Gaffney for Watch a Movie.
And also with you.